So, yeah. Yeah, that was an episode. Truly a fantastic episode. I mean, what else can I really say except that, truthfully, that was probably one of the most impactful episodes in anime I have ever seen. I keep trying to make comparisons about other shows, even, or episodes that would impact you so deeply and heavily and cold, you know. I thought of Neon Evangelion. I thought about the moment in Fullmetal Alchemist, when the little girl and her pet, kind of tragic stories that would match up just what this episode 7 of DanDaDan, made me feel today. It is a very complicated. I mean, it's not really that complicated. I mean, they laid it out pretty well during the episode, but I think it's a complicated emotion because it's a story about essentially a ghost, a phantom, slash monster, whatever type it is, thing it is, Essentially, it's like a lost soul that turns into a monster. And when you compare the contrast of the episode 6 compared to episode 7, for someone who has not read the source material, it's completely unexpected to get hit with what they showed on episode 7. Because I came in to DanDaDan thinking that this is just like, the reincarnation of like the new generation of Kuli Kuli, something wacky and crazy and beautiful. But then this episode comes and it's rooted in reality. You see a lot of shows about reality that kind of expand into fiction, kind of like as a offshoot, like, oh my god, we just discovered ghosts exist. And this is a world of ghosts that discovers reality in its most harshest and coldest truth. It is shocking, really, to watch it, because it comes out to you like out of left field. Like you just are not expecting it, and it hits you so freaking hard. Most of the time, I was thinking like, oh, I really don't like this. I really don't like what I'm seeing and what I'm experiencing for this character, because it's so real and it's so tragic, and from the point of view of the character, it's terrifying. I mean, you try to calculate or try to feel what she's feeling during that episode, and I'm just struggling to do that because it's a place of loss that I have personally never experienced, and hope to God that I never do. But it's real, and it's there because you've seen the stories. Some people know people who have gone through these experiences. Thankfully, it's not most of us. These are exceptions, but they still happen every day for some of us, and it is a reality of loss that none of us are truly prepared for, no matter what we do. Because to experience that kind of loss is, to say traumatic wouldn't even start, explaining what you would feel in that situation, I can just imagine, like, what else would you do other than turn into a monster, rather fictionally or, in reality. You just have to become a monster after that point, no matter what becomes of you. And it is truly a raw, scary, and painful emotion that they portrayed in this episode. And then it had a slightly, mostly tragic, but also slightly sweet ending. It is, I just thought I'd make this voice memo recording essentially my most raw emotions and actual reactions for this episode. No weird gimmicks. It's just, it was truly something amazing and shocking. I don't know how many people are gonna even be able to actually, I guess, enjoy this episode as I guess it's meant to be. Because that question does run through your mind, like, are you supposed to enjoy this episode? Is enjoying this episode wrong? But when I say enjoy it, I mean like coming from like a place of, okay, like I'm happy that whatever happened on screen happened. It's more of an enjoyment of, I'm glad I got to experience what this episode just tried to show me. Because this is something that I would never contemplate on my own, as long as life doesn't drive me down that path. It shows us a side of humanity that we are all terrified to experience and can't even contemplate its experience just for our sanity. But it shows it to us, and it allows us to, at least from my point of view, slightly relate to the people who actually have those experiences. I guess that is the moral story. To try to show you at least a little bit what it would be like to be in that scenario. I mean, just trying to think of it right now, it digs in deep inside of me and pulls something raw and harsh and just absolutely terrified straight out into the surface, and you do not know what the hell you're going to do with it. Because it is such a horrible thing to go through. Truly horrible. But it does happen. We hear the stories of how, people end up in that situation and they're trying to make, the bare minimum of happiness and sustainability, what they have to sacrifice to have some semblance of peace and hope. And then they pay the ultimate price. Do they deserve it? No, absolutely they do not. But it still happens. And that is the most heartbreaking thing that you have come to realize, is that it still happens. No matter how we all might feel, no matter how we all might, view this type of scenario, it still does happen. And there's almost nothing that you can do. I mean, obviously, you can join support groups. You can even join active task forces. But this is something that has been happening for centuries, and will probably continue to happen for centuries. And that is what is truly terrifying and sorrowful and painful. The fact that it will continue to happen, and there is practically nothing that you could do about it to stop it, completely at least. Someone will always go through this experience. And all we can do is truly just pray that it's not us. Yeah. I think that sums it up perfectly. Thank you for listening to this point. If you have, I mean, I know I do ramble a little bit sometimes, but I just wanted to have a truly open moment about this experience. Like whatever platform this voice memo is put on. Yeah, if this was well enough, I guess I'll try to share more of my mind and experiences on these episodes. I think I would try to do something that is more based on, like, these type of episodes instead of focusing specifically on certain shows. Because I think it would be nice to have a place where you can get the real and raw, reactions and emotions on the truly marketing moments of this fantastic medium that we have. So again, thank you. And I do hope you all have a great day.